Do narcissists ever listen? You may not think it, but we do actually listen to you. I appreciate that may seem odd, because you think the way we act means we can't possibly be listening to you. We take no notice of what you say, because we still go ahead and do the same things that we have done before. We keep repeating a comment, as if we have never heard your answer the first time around. You remind us about the time we are meeting, and we turn up late, or not at all. You could be forgiven for thinking that narcissists are very poor listeners. Often that is the case, but in actual fact, we are very good listeners. The difference is that our narcissism causes us to hear differently. When you are shouting at us, advancing your argument in a forceful manner, we will be responding to what you are saying, often with denial and deflection. We're not interested in what you're saying. We are concerned with hearing your feelings. We want to hear the strangulated and seething anger that manifests in your words, because then we know, along with seeing your contorted and reddened face, perhaps those tears of frustration spilling down your cheeks, your glazed eyes, your gesturing hands, that you have reacted to our provocation, and thus you are providing us with that life-affirming fuel. If you are hurling insults at us, calling us names and berating our dress sense, weight and intelligence, we are not wounded by these criticisms, because the fact that you are spitting them with venom, shouting them in a rage, or shrieking with delight as you insult us, means that you are providing the emotion that equates to fuel for us. Yes, of course, you're challenging us, and we'll have to deal with that, but you're still fueling us. The harsh names will ultimately dissipate as we assert control over you, because effectively our narcissism will take us to a place of not hearing them. We are hearing the emotion of what is being said. That is what matters. You can devise the most original insult the world has ever known, but if you throw it at us with emotion, then all we hear is your emotional reaction. Have you often wondered why the narcissist smiles when you're arguing with the narcissist? It's because you're fueling us. The smirk that occurs, possibly even breaking out into a smile, is because you're making us feel powerful. You're fueling us. And, of course, our narcissism recognizes that smiling at you will infuriate you all the more, leading to the provision of even more necessary fuel. We do listen to you with considerable attention during the initial stages of the seduction. We ensure that every snippet of information, every morsel of knowledge that will assist us in seducing you and binding you tight to us is heard and absorbed, filed away in readiness for use at the appropriate time. Often this is done subconsciously by the narcissism, but where you're dealing with an aware narcissist, we are thinking about everything that you're saying, logging it, storing it, utilizing it. Each time you reveal to us a new restaurant you have found, or a new play that has just opened, which you like, we take notice of this, because we may well use it to mirror you. When you tell us about your friends, we listen in anticipation of bringing them under our spell also as non-intimate secondary sources, or where we gauge that they are going to prove a problem, alienating you from them. When we listen at this juncture, you think we are attentive and interested in you. Indeed we are, and your reaction to this is to praise us, thus providing us with yet more positive fuel, and you feel attracted to us because you like that trait of being listened to. And thus we are able to gain the control that we require over you and bind you closer to us. Our interest, however, is not as you would normally perceive, because our interest is born out of the use that we can make of what you tell us in order to further our own agenda. We also listen to you to understand how our behaviors affect you. We listen to the praise and delight you gush forth, and we note that we did that and caused this. When we subject you to devaluation, we again soak up the fuel you pour towards us, but we also listen to how it is affecting you. You tell us about how it hurts, how you cannot sleep, how you feel anxious, how you feel sick, how you are frightened, how you just don't understand. We don't care how you feel because we have no emotional empathy, but we are most interested in you telling us about how you feel. This forms feedback based upon our various manipulations, detailing to us, do we have you under control, and of course providing us with fuel. As we gather the fuel from your tearful pleading, we also ascertain what we have said and how it has had an effect upon you. We listen to you explaining to us how you feel because we do not feel it ourselves. We need to learn from you in this respect. This is why I, the Ultra, understand empaths so well. People often ask, HG, how is it that you can understand the way that the empaths articulate themselves and feel and talk and behave? It's because I've listened, I've observed, I've watched. I've seen how you all behave. And my vast intellect makes notes of all of this, storing away the information, contemplating it, utilizing it, working it out. What did that mean? Why did they do that? What would happen if? A vast array of information. And whilst others of my kind are not on the level that I am, they nevertheless still listen keenly to utilize this information to their advantage. You see, it assists us because we need to learn so that we can mimic as and when the need arises. We need to learn that if somebody feels a sense of loss, they will cry. Accordingly, if we anticipate losing you, then an appropriate reaction would be for some narcissists to cry and turn on the waterworks by way of a pity play preventative hoover. We have learned from what you have shown us and what you have told us. See, I told you that we pay attention to you. We also listen so we know just how effective our manipulation has been. Is what you are telling us explaining a minor degree of hurt and sadness, or is it more substantial? We don't know ourselves because we don't actively feel sadness ourselves. That redundant emotion was never allowed to develop in the first place. Accordingly, in order to understand what makes someone sad, a little bit sad, or devastatingly sad, we have to observe your responses and listen to what you are saying. We do not stand and listen because we are concerned, because we want to find a solution to your state of sadness. That serves no purpose to us at all. What we are doing is listening to the detail of your misery so we can replicate it. We can replicate both in terms of pretending we feel miserable when the occasion suits us, or of course to an unaware narcissist they truly believe that they are, and we also replicate it to make someone miserable for the purpose of control and the gathering of fuel. It is through listening that we hone our manipulative skills. It is through listening that we learn all about you, what you like and what you dislike, what your hopes are, and what vulnerabilities you have that we can exploit. Through listening, we understand how you feel, so we can mimic this. It is through listening that we are able to comprehend how you are affected by what we do. Of course, we spend a lot of time talking, telling the world about our lives and how brilliant we are, and this is, of course, the way of what we are. But you would be surprised at just how much the narcissist listens. Just because we may not be listening based on what you deem to be important does not mean we are not listening at all. Far from it. Accordingly, next time you plead that we listen to you for once, or that you beg us to listen to what I am saying, you will find that we are, and you will undoubtedly come to regret it. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening to me.